Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're unpacking a book that, well, it's definitely stirred the pot, but has undeniably changed how millions think about wealth.
Ah, you must mean Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
That's the one. What the rich teach their kids about money that the poor and middle class do not. I'm really keen to explore its most impactful and sometimes controversial ideas with you.
Definitely. And this deep dive is all about pulling out those core insights. His work often runs completely counter to what many of us were traditionally taught.
Right.
So our mission here is to help you, our listener, really understand these, well, sometimes surprising facts, give you a shortcut to being properly informed about a very different way of looking at financial success.
Exactly. We spent a lot of time with the sources, the main book, his other writings, and tried to pull out the real nuggets.
So let's get into it. What does Kiyosaki actually believe the rich teach their kids about money?
Well, it all starts with his upbringing, doesn't it?
Yeah, he sets the scene with this really unique situation. Two dads, both huge influences.
You've got his biological father, highly educated, PhD, the one he calls the poor dad.
Right, the traditional path.
And then there's his best friend Mike's father. Never finished 8th grade, apparently, but became super rich. That's the rich dad.
And having these two strong opposing viewpoints, especially about money, it wasn't just about choosing one.
No, it sounds like it forced him to actually think.
Exactly. To think critically, synthesize ideas rather than just, accepting or rejecting one side. Like one dad saying, the love of money is the root of all evil.
Classic line.
Well, the other says, the lack of money is the root of all evil. It really highlights how deep these contrasting beliefs can run.
And even the little things, the everyday language. His poor dad would just say, I can't afford it. End of story.
Yeah, which Kiyosaki's rich dad apparently saw as mentally lazy.
Pretty much. Like
Yeah.
it just shuts your brain down.
Rich
Rich dad insisted on asking, okay, how can I afford it?
Which forces you to look for solutions, right? To problem solve.
That sounds so basic, but it's a huge mindset shift, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And it makes you wonder, how much do these ingrained thought patterns, the stuff we pick up from family, from society, how much does that really dictate our financial path? Kiyosaki makes a strong point that money is mostly taught at home, right? Not really in school.
Yeah, definitely not in my school.
So most people learn how to work for money, but they never learn how to make money work for them. That seems to be the fundamental split he identified.
Okay, so building on that, he goes on to challenge some really widely held beliefs.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
The most famous one, probably the most controversial, is this idea that your house is an asset. He flat out says, my house is a liability.
Right. And adds, if your house is your largest investment, you're in trouble. That genuinely shakes people up.
It challenged everything I thought I knew about sensible investing.
For sure. It's often the first big aha, or maybe wait, what? moment for readers. We're just so conditioned to see homeownership as the peak financial goal, the ultimate asset.
But his point is different.
Yeah, it's less about the house itself and more about cash flow. He has these really strict definitions. An asset puts money in your pocket.
And a liability.
Takes money out of your pocket. Simple as that.
So for most people, their house means mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, repairs.
All money flowing out.
Making it a liability in his framework, not an income-generating asset.
Exactly. And this definition is key to understanding his diagrams of how different financial classes handle money.
Oh yeah, the cash flow patterns. He lays them out pretty starkly.
He does. For the poor, he shows salary coming in.
And going straight back out again. Rent, food, transport, gone.
Then the middle class. Salary comes in, goes out to expenses too, but now there are significant liabilities eating it up.
Mortgages, car loans, credit card debt.
Which leads to what he famously termed the rat race.
That feeling of running faster and faster, but never getting ahead. Earning more just means spending more on bigger liabilities.
And he argues that the standard advice, get a good education, find a safe, secure job, actually feeds into this trap.
He even has that acronym for JOB, right?
Yeah, just over broke. It's provocative, definitely designed to make you question that deep-seated belief in job security.
So the argument is, as an employee, you're working first for the company owners?
Then for the government, because taxes come out before you even see your paycheck. He calculates that as months of your year working just for taxes.
Wow. And then for the bank, servicing your mortgage and other debts.
Leaving you, as he puts it, just over broke, making it really hard to build your own wealth, your own asset column.
And speaking of taxes, he dives into the history a bit, doesn't he? Claims that whole tax the rich idea kind of backfired.
Yeah, the Robin Hood fantasy, he calls it. He argues that while taxes might have initially targeted the wealthy,
They eventually hit the middle class the hardest.
that's his claim. Because, he says, the rich learned how to legally minimize their tax burden primarily through using corporations.
So corporation isn't just like a big office building.
Not necessarily. He emphasizes it can just be a legal structure, a file folder with the right documents, but it offers huge advantages.
Like paying expenses before paying taxes.
Exactly. And protection from lawsuits.
Yeah.
It allows the wealthy, in his view, to strategically control everything but own nothing, personally.
Okay, so if working for money in a traditional job and buying liabilities you think are assets is the rat race trap, what's the way out?
Well, his rich dad's advice was simple. Mind your own business.
Which doesn't necessarily mean quit your job tomorrow, right?
No, not necessarily. It means focusing your energy and spare cash on building your asset column. That's your real business.
This ties into his cash flow quadrant idea too, doesn't it? ESBI.
Precisely. E for employee, S for self-employed or small business owner. Those are on one side.
Where you're basically trading your time for money.
Right. The goal is to move to the other side. B for business owner owning systems that work for you, and I for investor having your money work for you.
So your profession, like being a doctor or a programmer, that's not your business in his terms.
No, your business is the portfolio of assets you're building alongside your profession. Assets that generate income independently.
And he's very clear on what counts as a real asset.
Yes, things like businesses that don't need you there, stocks, bonds, income-generating real estate, notes or IOUs, intellectual property royalties.
Things that put money in your pocket.
Correct. While the poor just have expenses, and the middle class buy liabilities they think are assets.
Like that new car that drops in value the second you drive it.
Exactly. The rich, he says, focus on buying or creating true assets. That's the fundamental difference in focus.
And this connects to how they buy luxuries too. It's not about avoiding them.
No, it's about how they're acquired. Instead of using credit and getting into debt for a fancy car or vacation.
The rich buy an asset first.
Yes. They build or buy an asset, say a rental property or dividend stocks, and the income generated by that asset pays for the luxury.
So the luxury becomes like a reward funded by smart asset building, not by taking on more debt.
Precisely. It's funded by financial intelligence, as he'd put it.
Which leads to another big idea. The rich invent money. Which sounds a bit dodgy at first hearing.
Huh. Yeah, he tells that story about trying to make counterfeit nickels as a kid, learning it the hard way.
Right, so it's not literally printing money?
No, it's about financial intelligence and creativity, seeing opportunities others miss, structuring deals cleverly. He says it's often not a lack of technical info holding people back.
But a lack of self-confidence.
Yeah. The belief that you can structure a deal, find financing, create value, that's the inventing part.
He breaks down this financial IQ into 4 key areas, doesn't he?
He does. Accounting, which is really financial literacy, understanding the numbers. Investing, the science of money making money. Understanding market supply and demand, how things work. And the law.
Leveraging legal structures like corporations for tax advantages and protection.
Exactly. His point is, financial intelligence solves problems and produces money. Just having money without that intelligence, it disappears quickly.
He gives that example of buying a rundown house, cheap, like $20K, fixing it slightly, selling it for $60K with no money down from the buyer.
And taking back a promissory note for $40 is his asset, earning 10% interest.
All supposedly done in just a few hours' work. And potentially sheltered in a corporation. It sounds almost too good to be true for many people, that no money down part especially.
Well, he'd argue it's not about magic. It's about seeing the opportunity and knowing how to structure it. Finding a motivated seller, finding a buyer willing to pay more over time, understanding the legal paperwork. It requires education and, frankly, boldness.
Yeah, that ties into his quote, "Great opportunities are not seen with your eyes. They are seen with your mind."
Exactly. Most people, he argues, aren't financially trained to even recognize these kinds of opportunities. They're waiting for some perfect, safe opportunity card to land in their lap.
Instead of actively creating or spotting the less obvious ones.
Right. But even if you get the knowledge, get the mindset, he says there are still major hurdles.
Yes, the 5 big obstacles. These feel very psychological.
Totally. Number 1 is fear. Specifically, the fear of losing money.
He says something like, people are so afraid of losing that they lose.
Yeah, he points out that winning usually involves some losing along the way. Successful people aren't defeated by failure, they're inspired by it. Learn from it. It's about managing fear, not pretending it doesn't exist.
Okay, number 2, cynicism.
The chicken little syndrome, he calls it. That constant doubt, listening to all the negative noise from others, or just inside your own head.
What if the market crashes?
Yeah.
What if it doesn't work?
Exactly. It paralyzes you, makes you miss opportunities, especially when things are on sale financially.
Then there's laziness,
Yeah.
which sounds weird because people in the rat race are often working really hard.
But he flips it. He says busy people are often the most lazy.
Ouch. How so?
By staying frantically busy, perhaps at work or with distractions, they avoid confronting the real underlying issues like needing to build assets or manage their finances better. It's a way of avoiding the harder, more important work.
Yeah, that hits home a bit.
And linked to laziness are bad habits like spending everything you earn or dipping into savings constantly.
Or always paying your bills and everyone else first and having nothing left for yourself.
Right. He advocates the opposite. Pay yourself first, even if it means you're short for bills.
That sounds stressful.
It's meant to be. That pressure, he believes, forces you to become more creative, to find ways to generate more income, to cover everything. It's a discipline.
Okay, and the last one? Arrogance.
Yeah, basically thinking you know it all, or that what you don't know isn't important, acting like an expert when you're actually ignorant in an area.
He says true intelligence means welcoming new ideas, listening more than talking.
Because what I know makes me money, what I don't know loses me money. It's about humility and always being willing to learn.
So overcoming those is crucial, but he doesn't just leave it there. He offers like 10 practical steps to get started to awaken your financial genius.
Yeah, a kind of action plan. Starts with finding a really strong why, a deep emotional reason to be rich, beyond just wanting stuff.
Then being conscious about what you feed your mind. Books, seminars, learning.
And crucially, choosing your friends carefully. Hanging out with people who talk about making money and ideas, not just.
Not the chicken littles who drag you down with cynicism.
Exactly. Seek out people you can learn from.
He also says, master one formula, like maybe rental properties, then learn another one quickly.
Yeah, the emphasis is on speed of learning. In today's world, how fast you learn new things is maybe more vital than what you already know.
And we mentioned pay yourself first. That's a big one in his steps.
Definitely. Treat it like the most important bill.
What about paying brokers and professionals?
He actually says pay your brokers well. Good advisors, accountants, lawyers, they provide crucial information and save you time, which he sees as a valuable asset itself. Don't try to cheap out on essential expertise.
That makes sense. He also uses that term Indian giver, which, okay, is a bit dated and potentially problematic.
Yeah, the phrasing isn't great, but the concept he's getting at is about getting something back on your investment beyond the initial purchase. Like getting your initial investment money back quickly while still holding the asset. Looking for that extra angle, the freebie.
Okay, getting your seed money back to reinvest elsewhere. And then using assets to buy luxuries last.
Yes, reinforcing that point. Luxuries are the reward after you've built the income stream from assets.
Finding heroes to emulate is another step.
Yeah, studying successful investors or entrepreneurs, learning from their stories, their strategies.
And finally, teach and you shall receive.
The idea that by sharing what you learn, by teaching others, you actually reinforce your own knowledge and often uncover new insights or opportunities. Giving leads to receiving.
Beyond those 10 steps, he gets even more specific with some to-dos, like stop doing what isn't working. Sounds obvious, but...
But hard to do sometimes.
Oh.
Also, making lots of offers, but with escape clauses. Being proactive in the market.
Jogging through neighborhoods to spot deals or changes, that's pretty hands-on.
Yeah, looking for sale by owner signs, distressed properties, signs of change, being observant.
Shopping for bargains in all markets, real estate, stocks, even during crashes. Seeing downturns as opportunities.
Looking in the right places, foreclosure auctions, tax lien sales, where the deals might be found.
And thinking bigger, collaborating with others maybe, to get volume discounts or tackle larger projects.
It all comes down to being active, engaged, and constantly learning and looking. The ultimate aim, he stresses, is converting your earned income from your job or small business
into passive income from businesses or real estate you don't actively manage, or portfolio income from stocks, bonds, etc.
as quickly as possible. Because that's the income of the B&I quadrants, and it's generally taxed at lower rates too. That's the path out of the rat race.
Wow, okay. So from those foundational lessons of the two dads, through redefining assets, understanding cash flow, tackling fear, and taking practical action. Kiyosaki's message is, well, it's a really potent mix of mindset change and strategy.
It really is. It's fundamentally about recognizing that rat race pattern and consciously choosing a different path, one based on understanding how money actually works, according to him.
And it's not just about the numbers, is it?
No, he emphasizes holistic development. You need the mental education, sure, but also the emotional strength to handle fear and risk, you could say, spiritual drive or why, and even the physical energy to pursue opportunities.
He sees his cash flow games, for instance, as a way to practice all of that learning from mistakes safely, engaging different parts of yourself.
Exactly. It's about learning by doing, even in simulation.
So when you boil it all down, what does this mean for you listening right now? Kiyosaki's core message seems crystal clear. It's what's in your head, your financial intelligence, your mindset that ultimately determines what ends up in your hand.
Instead of just working harder and trying to save a bit, he's really pushing you to learn how to make your money work hard for you.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question to ponder, doesn't it?
I think so. In this world of constant change, endless information, are you playing it safe, sticking to the old advice, or are you playing it smart? Are you actively, continuously investing in your own financial intelligence and figuring out how to make your money work for you?
Something to think about. Until next time, keep digging, keep learning, and keep thriving on your financial journey.